Whity show. Whity show. Whity show. Whity show. I'm gonna try to do the whole review in this. I can't see, it's like flicking in my eye. God. Daredevil is back, and as most of you know, it is probably one of my favorite comic adaptations from any comic I've ever seen. It is its own show, but it takes from the comics the good stuff, the bad stuff, not the bad too much, and it makes such a one of the best shows. This show basically picks up where the last season left off. Matt is now getting more used to his superhero role in Hell's Kitchen. He's beating people up. The first 10 minutes of his show is just going around taking out villains. Knock, knock, boom, boom. And it's almost like he's a shadow, and I love it. This is the Daredevil that I know. He's more trained. He knows what he's doing. He's not getting his ass kicked as much. Loved the beginning of the show because it captures who Daredevil as a superhero is. This show also, right away in the first episode, introduces one of the most iconic characters of all time, whether you're a comic fan or not. He's called The Punisher, Frank Castle, and he's here, he's ready to murder people, and this is exciting right off the bat. If you don't know who Punisher is, I advise looking on Wikipedia or watching any one of his movies, though most of them all suck. This is The Punisher done right. Frank Castle is a man who is built on revenge. His family is completely murdered, and every edition is different, but this one especially is messed up, fucked up. You get to hear it from the word of the mouth of the man himself, and he's just on a rampage. So in the first episode, I'm not going to go into too much spoilers, but in the first episode, Frank Castle is very much Terminator style. He's walking around, he's got the gun, and he's ready to kill you. And then on the other side of things, you got Daredevil, who's like, listen, sir, no violence. That's exactly what he says when he meets him. Listen, sir. So you get these two, one an anti-hero, one a hero. They both hate criminals and villains, but they take care of it in a different way. Daredevil's non-violent, Punisher is violent. So I really love the four-part episode arc that you get. And then we go into Elektra's arc, which is also interesting, but very different and more supernatural. So I'm not going to get into any more spoilers. We talked a little bit about the plot, but let's talk about what works, what doesn't work, and if this season is better than the first. God damn it. Daredevil can wear this shit, I can wear this. I got you, Matthew Cox. Did I just call him Matthew Cox? Is that his name? That's not his name. Charlie Cox. So, in the beginning of the show, I really love the fact that the chemistry just feels better this season. It feels like they're actual friends. Foggy and Matt always felt good in season 1, but now they actually feel like, wow, I can believe these guys have been friends 10 years, no problem. One of the best things in the show is the Punisher's chemistry with Matt, and also Karen, but especially with Matt. These guys somehow have respect for each other, despite dealing with criminals very differently. They have respect for each other, and I loved it. I love that they can fight about it, argue about it, and they still like each other. So the chemistry, the acting, everything is all-star beautiful. Loved it. Can't wear this fucking thing anymore. I can't. The fight scenes in the show are even better than season 1 because they try to amp it up in different ways. Instead of just, except for the staircase scene, which is reminiscent to the hallway scene in season 1, everything feels very different action. They tried something more violent, different angles, stuff like that, that made it different and, in my opinion, better. So I think the action, the choreography, everything in that sense is very, very well done, and I absolutely give it a thumbs up in this season. The dialogue is definitely better than the first season. You have to deal with supernatural elements in the season, so you have to, you know, delicately, God, I can't speak, go over these things and talk about them without sounding cringeworthy, and they do it a pretty good job. I never in this season was like in the dialogue, but season 1 did have a few parts, and Jessica Jones also had a few So I really thought the dialogue was a step up. It felt more natural, especially the joke. So overall, the comedy and dialogue worked better in this season. And last but not least, one of the things I loved about the show is the way it was structured. This might be closest thing to comics we've had in a while. Every show is structured leading up to a big bad. And in this show, there is no big bad. This is all structured. The first 4 episodes in an arc, the next 5 are an arc, and the last 3 in an arc. And that is last 4. And that is great. I love the fact that it feels more comic booky. They feel like it's character growth, and that's what these shows are for me. I go to the movies to see Captain America have a movie, a nice condensed 2-hour story. These I go to see the character completely grow through 13 episodes, and they handle it magnificently. This is the best TV comic show I can think of. So you're sitting here like, well, this has got to be better than season 1. Are there any bad things? And there are 2 things that come to mind that I thought could have been better. One, I felt like the finale, while it was emotionally much better than season 1, it didn't go out as a bang, just like season 1. Like, I felt like the other fights in this show were better than the finale. Like, I liked the last episode. I felt emotionally connected. I was sad what happens, but I was very disappointed with the actual fight. It was just good. Whereas there's scenes in this show that are, oh my god. So that was a disappointment. Another thing is ninjas. Too much ninjas is not a good thing. Couple of ninjas, cool. Coming in the shadow of the darkness, awesome. Having ninjas every fucking 10 minutes, they lose their appeal of being cool and they just get slaughtered anyway. So I felt like the ninjas were not handled well. Now I can know the hand counts on numbers, but they just didn't have any iconic scenes with them that I really loved, except maybe the hospital scene and one other scene, but I really wanted more from them. And if they recreated that 1,000 ninjas versus Matt in an alleyway, now that would have been a scene from the comics. Those 2 flaws aside, this season is near perfect for me. I was enthralled throughout the entire session of watching this. The first 4 episodes just absorbed me, and then I was really invested in Elektra. I like the slowdown, I like getting character development, and then we get to the end, which is solid, better than season 1, just not as good as I was hoping. So overall, what am I going to give Daredevil season 2? I'm going to give that shit a 4.5 out of 5. I really loved it. This is the thing I want to see from comic books. Respect the source, create your own shit, give me entertaining fights, and most of all, make a fucking story that makes sense. There's a few little plot holes in here, but overall I wasn't like so annoyed by it that it hurt me. So I really enjoyed this season. It's one of my favorites. It probably is my favorite comic book TV show season so far. And a 4.5 out of 5. So let me know what you think below. Did you think season 1 was better? Did you think season 2 was better? And of course, let me know below if you liked my review. And also, hit the like button, because I love you. Hit the subscribe button if you love me. And everybody have a good day. More reviews are coming.